Aloha and welcome to the Backyard Vertical Gardener. My name is Eric and I live here on the island of Kauai. I rent, and the landlord said that I could have a garden but only in containers around the perimeter of the backyard. As a result of this, I had to be creative and go vertical. I built the raised beds out of 2x material, primarily 2x12, but a couple of the beds I made taller by using 2x10 stacked with 2x8 boxes. The beds are 7 foot long and 1 foot wide by 1 foot tall. The trellises I designed used 1/2 inch electrical conduit, and here I started out by weaving a net, but later on I realized that using the foundation wire panels was superior. I used zip ties to connect it all together, and the poles slide right over the top of rebar, which is pounded into the ground. If I ever need to work on the beds, the vertical trellises pull right off and it makes it easy for access. On the top of the trellises, I leave zip ties vertically to keep the birds from landing. After my first harvest, I noticed that the tree roots had come up into the bottom of my garden beds, so I had to pull them out to plank over the bottoms and replant. Here you can see the tomatoes are flourishing quite well and taking to the trellises. Got cucumbers here growing vertically up about 10 feet on the trellises. I had green beans growing in between, but there wasn't enough sun for them to make it. Love all of these different varieties of Japanese cucumbers, with the thin skins and the small seed cavities. They're a delight to eat as you don't have to peel them. Not much area left in the backyard, so I decided to take to the deck. Here I'm making grow buckets that have a well of water down between, as there are 2 buckets, one inside the other. A little net pot in the bottom helps the soil to reach down and wick up the moisture, helping to make these buckets self-watering. I only have to add water about once a week. I've got yellow and green zucchini squash planted in here. As the squash grow, I use twine to attach the plants to the poles and keep them growing vertically. Trimming off the lower leaves as they age is a great way to avoid disease. Another thing I really like about the buckets is that they are easy to move around, they don't stain the deck or cause the wood to rot. With this row of buckets and trellises, I've captured over another 20 feet of prime growing space. For a healthy garden, it's important to make your own compost. I utilized an area on the side of the house to make a 3-bin system using pallets and chicken wire. I get finished compost about every 6 weeks. That compost is nutrient dense and helps to keep my beds topped off and my plants supercharged. If you want to see how I use that 3-bin compost system to make excellent finished compost in just 6 weeks, then check out my channel and consider subscribing if you want to keep up to date with what's growing on here in my backyard vertical garden on the beautiful garden island of Kauai. Aloha!